The debate worked. Kinda. So I just released a new video. Minecraft was always this bad. It was a video made in collaboration with my friend. I fully expected this video to be much more popular than my previous videos. Not only it is a much more general topic, but also it is very controversial. However, from reading the comments, I saw that some of my points were just misunderstood, badly explained, or just the things I don't personally agree with. This stems from the fact that this script was written by two people and that edited for over 2 months. Since I don't edit videos myself, I view them through a 480p 2-frame Discord stream. To be fully honest, by the time I seen some issues with the video, it's been almost done. I felt like scrapping it would just waste everyone's time. Especially because I do still agree with what I said. I could just leave this video to be, as I doubt I will ever engage with this more general side of the community. I am the SCNA modpack guy after all. I feel personally dissatisfied with how the video was received. There were a few questions that people have been repeating. Some are misunderstandings. Most of them come from the schizophrenic pacing and cuts making the point incoherent. First, the thing that comes up most and is the most incorrect. Why did YouTube mark this video as AI? It didn't. I did. YouTube now asks you to say whenever your video contains AI. Yes, it asks the creator, just like whenever your video is for kids or not. Since I like use gags using AI, it kind of became an inside joke in my circles, I stuck to yes. But some people assume that I somehow got caught and that the entire video is just AI. While I believe most of those comments are just jabs, people frustrated with my takes, I think it's worth to mention that this is a conscious decision that I made. There were also people who genuinely hated the fact that I used Gen AI at all. I actually do wonder, since this video is reaching a different, broader audience, what is your take on AI use? I personally can't stand those shitty small channels that just present you with a PowerPoint presentation, with AI scripts, AI images, and AI voiceover. It is very disrespectful. It is engineered to sap watch hours. But I cannot be mad over someone making a visual gag with AI. It is not pretending to be what it is not. It is not there to extract value, but there to enhance the video with effects that are genuinely difficult to pull off. There is a difference between a massive chunk of work being AI versus a single clip of a guy eating a slab of meat. Please tell me. I am really curious what is people's take on it. So first thing that needs to be addressed is, what do I really think of Minecraft? Because of two people making points, it is difficult to really understand what take each person actually holds and which they don't. First and foremost, the most negative comments that attempted to make a point and they'll just call me a moron pointed mostly to takes made by Nuclear. The repeating point was that the Japas are indeed an improvement over the old node textures. And you know what? Yeah, I agree. No, I'm not backpedaling. If you look at the Warfactory core mod, the textures are made in a modern style because I actually think it looks better. Modern art actually shows depth. The issue I do have with it is its poor contrast. Another, actually much more interesting point is that I'm looking at the game the wrong way argument, because the game is a sandbox game and was always supposed to be a sandbox game. I don't exactly buy that. In the early alpha days, sure, it was a sandbox game. With time, the game shifted towards survival, because not wanting to have more danger, as he said. Around beta 1.8, he announced that he wants the game to have more content, more exploration, and more things to do, with interesting combat. Then proceeded to add experience, magic, trading, critical hits. This was the direction he wanted to take the game into. If you were to dig to Minecraft's history, not to mention that he's seen the game such as Dwarf Fortress as inspiration, a role-playing game. He also said way back that survival is his main priority. There are mentions how PvP was an afterthought. Now it is, but back then, not literally want to make a PvP Fortress game mode built straight into the game. So, what is this game even? In fact, Notch didn't know himself. If you want to know more about this topic, check out the video made by Orange. Went over Notch's ideas early in development. TLDR is that he wanted to make this an everything game, but he always wanted RPG elements and survival. Call Minecraft a pure sandbox experience is to ignore most of its history. The game is a survival game with RPG elements built on top of a Vexel sandbox engine. Oh, survival is not challenging? Progression is bad? That's because the game is about building and creativity. It's a sandbox, bro. Newsflash. If you are only playing creative and building, then sorry mate, you're missing out on the game mode that was in the game longer than creative itself. You see, in-game development, doing one thing means you're not doing everything else. That's why having a developed idea and a design dog is supreme. Notch did not. He for the longest time just kinda did whatever he thought was cool. If you're working on the survival aspects, the RPG elements will get less effort. So what happens when you try to be an everything game? You get a game that constantly shows potential but never actually goes all in on it, meaning it feels underdeveloped and often badly integrated. This exact thing had been an issue back during the alpha days, beta days, and now, especially with the move to smaller updates after the 26th version. Telling player to just ignore the features if they don't like it is perhaps the most bewildering type of code I've ever heard. There was real time spent on implementing a feature, and now I'm supposed to just ignore it? I mean, sure, it is not particularly difficult not to interact with the archaeology system or the sniffer. I can't exactly just not interact with the inventory system without alt-F4ing the game though. Also, this argument falls apart on multiplayer, as ignoring the most efficient ways of doing things makes you play with an inherent disadvantage. I've noticed this recently, that there's a genre of servers that try to make Minecraft fun again by disabling half the features and applying unenforceable rules just to keep the game fun. Why is this game like this? And since it's the most popular game ever, it needs to cater to everyone. This means that every single feature added is oftentimes completely optional, inconsequential, and bland. Combinations of two issues applies both to modern and old school Minecraft. Picture this, you are Notch back in 2010 and you want to add exploration and RPG, but whoops, you want your game to be a simple sandbox and there's also inherent engine limitations, so you add dimension that is quite literally barren red hellscape with 2 mobs and few blocks. Then you leave it like that until 1.16 or so. Then you do this multiple times. Here's your game. There's potential to be there, but it's ultimately not delivering. Contrast it with modern gimmicks such as copper tools that nobody will consider using, spyglasses, polar bears. Compared to Terraria, it is also a game that's doing exploration, building, and dungeons. However, it made a choice and pivoted into RPG elements and combat really hard. I never see anyone complain about poor design issues of Terraria. It found its niche and did it well. It is not pretending to be what it is not. This is also what modded does. When you play a mod, it's generally a mod that focuses on one thing at a time, or a mod that focuses on one specific aspect of gameplay. I know that most modern mod packs have a vanilla plus feel to it, but the most prolific mod packs that you keep hearing about tend to be the ones that took one niche and ran with it, such as GTA for long-term progression, Railcraft for brutal survival experience, Sky Factory for polished skyblock experience. Come to think of it, Notch's schizophrenic idea for what the game should be explains how the perfect beta has suddenly added features that were stated not to be planned. Coming back to the beta Minecraft. Oh yeah, about the beta. I said that beta was a tech demo because it quite literally is. In spite of the video being about beta primarily, I haven't seen many people defend beta as much in the comments. I've seen a few people though, this one in particular.
As someone who likes beta 1.7.3 more than modern versions, I do think it is better balanced in multiple ways and overall is a more relaxing experience. Tools being less time to spend 10 hours, so I am not behind everyone else and wasting resources by not using mending. They're simply a thing you craft and break without caring as much. As for progression, it's virtually unchanged in modern Minecraft except for enchants. Netherite is so minor it doesnn't make a difference until the 70% of uses.
You are skipping over the boss fights, nether fortresses, and few other things. It's fair to say, but quite literally the progression does not go beyond diamond, which is already trivial to get.
Food being unstackable but directly healing you makes better foods feel more important, especially since beta has no natural regen.
I tend to agree on it. However, eating is instant, so you can just insta-heal real quickly. Post-hunger food, at least you need to wait a few seconds while you slow down, and then actually you can get healed after extra few seconds. There are potions that mind you are unstackable and are able to also insta-heal, but they require you to at the very least look either up or down so you can throw it and heal yourself. With beta, you can do this extremely fast, with much less skill. Also, food is not that scarce. Passive modes respawn much faster than in modern versions.
Not being able to sprint makes mobs more threatening and encourages building infrastructure to go faster, like a bridge to cross a gap or a railway to cross a long distance.
You know what? I'll just leave this clip right here. There are people saying that me criticizing AI was incorrect. Are you sure, buddy? I mean, I think I cooked with that one. By the way, in both versions, you can just lock yourself in a box or build a few blocks up. In older versions, you seem more effective because skeletons barely can shoot straight.
Minecraft should have been more about building things to make life better, whether through crafting or through building infrastructure. Stuff like the Elytra and shulkers kind of ruined that for me, since now the player is a walking powerhouse of up to 37 by 27 slots whose fastest travel method requires zero building anything.
I don't think that this is a problem entirely. Elytra, for example, is a solution to endgame where you can have massive bases. It becomes impractical to move around them. But when you can quite literally kill a dragon with a bunch of wool and planks, then grab the elytra by floating up with the use of the same mobs that are supposed to kill you, and then put on mending to go by placing a lectern from a villager for a few minutes, then we do have a problem. The shulker boxes were a solution to a fact, but Minecraft inventory system sucks. The issue with it is that it was created when the game had a handful of blocks and items, then persisted the same way as the game added more and more items into the game. For mining would maybe end up with you coming back with a few types of ore and cobblestone, perhaps some mob loot. Now, you will come back with a bunch of random decorative blocks, 5 different types of stone on top of that, within the same inventory size. Imagine you want to build a large structure somewhere remote. How do you move all those materials? You can either spend a lot of time building infrastructure for it, which might take as long as the build, or you may just move it via shulker boxes, unless you actually want to run the laps. I think the horses have gotten the short end of the stick here, since they would have been able to actually fill this gap if killing Elder Dragon wasn't this easy. Another thing that beta players failed to mention, in-game tutorials are pretty bad. The only thing you get is the advancement system that does not even tell you anything. Just shows you icons. The typical answer to this is that the game is so simple that you don't even need a tutorial. Oh really? Can you tell me how to make a cake without opening a wiki? This persists into newer versions to a degree. How do you organically discover how to build a wither? From painting? Huh? Notice how some of the same issues from the beta days persist to this day. There is, I believe, a massive component that people actually missed or have not articulated properly. Minecraft is actually getting better. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of bloat that has been introduced. The enchantment system that has started off as a gimmick, which progressed into being some of the most broken systems in the game, deprecating resource gathering for new tools, further buffed by grindstone that is easily able to grind off undesirable enchantments. For better or for worse, instead of fixing those massively broken systems, Mojang is more interested in adding new baby mobs, 100 different flowers, other things I forgot about existing. I spent at the very least 2,000 hours in Minecraft 1.12.2 and I forgot that polar bears even existed in that version. However, it is impossible to really disregard updates such as the Nether update, the Aquatic update, Caves and Cliffs. Those are perhaps the best updates ever. Why? They took a real outdated or flawed feature and expanded on it properly, without sacrifices. Nether became an actual fun place to be in, with new features that have utility beyond just looking cool. Though, a big missed opportunity on not updating the fortresses. You know, the main reason to go there? Caves and Cliffs finally made generation fun again, escaping the endless ocean trap and flat predictable terrain. Even combat is being revised. Well, kinda. You see, the biggest issue that I see with these updates is that Mojang is unwilling to put their foot down and make real changes. They tend to just add more gimmicks that walk around the issue, such as the maze that's trying to address the tanky builds, as they are able to deal much more damage than typical sword. Sadly, the extremely controversial combat update was not reworked. Shields still dominate with the ability to block explosions, like it's nothing. Remember to block early, as for some reason the blocking is not instant, which is extremely unintuitive. I think that Mojang does not have the balls to really experiment. That's my big worry. When you make sweeping changes, you will ultimately piss someone off. The mobs that can actually pose a real threat. This will make the younger player base to struggle. You can add 100 random gimmicks, but then people like me will complain as the game becomes more and more bloated. As I said, a game for everyone is a game for no one. Minecraft will not push the envelope or try to extend the progression with actual consequences. You want to add a dungeon? Because of the nature of the game, you can just mine through it and skip the progression. That's why MOA's structures fail. Some mods did address this by preventing players from tampering with the dungeons before their bosses are defeated. Imagine though if Minecraft did this in vanilla. Total Sandbox inherently allows for cheese and lack of any real ability to restrict the player, which in practice makes it easy to circumvent challenges. The only real way to update a game like Minecraft is to add inoffensive garbage, as the people that are upset by this will forget about it existing anyways, or overhauling features that have been historically underdeveloped and boring, like the Nether. Now, that I have given praise to Modern, let me move on to another point. Some people accuse me of loving Microsoft, which shows lack of understanding of how the game is developed. No, it's not Microsoft whipping the poor Mojang devs to add gimmicks and push environmentalism. They are for sure behind all the age verification top-down control that Modern has been introducing into Java, which manifested itself during the recent ban wave abusing Mojang's report system. If you want to talk about actual Microsoft influence, then take a look at the Bedrock Slop Shop. Me liking some of the new additions does not automatically mean that I'm shilling for Microsoft. Trust me, if I could vaporize one company in the world, it would either be Apple or Microsoft. I'm recording this from RTX Linux install, by the way. This is Mojang, that went from a small team of a few neckbeards to a full corporate entity with real departments. They also took on some kind of need to virtue signal about environmentalism, while encouraging farming methods that make battery cages look like an ethical choice, because of the passive mob spawning system being changed to push new breeding mechanic and to deal with the lag. I get the argument that removing it now will cause a riot, which I agree with. What about the villager update that submitted villager slave labor camps? We're encouraged to churn through tens of villagers just to get single trade you want. This is 1.14, by the way, not even that long ago. Some people took this video as some kind of attempt to paint Minecraft as woke because of a single joke made by Nuclear. I don't know how someone listened to the whole video and found that this is the argument. I get it. He said the dreaded W word, but this is not a culture war video. This video is not about you. The reason for this video existing is because I don't think anyone is willing to criticize the things that they enjoy. They're unwilling to take a while and actually notice the things how they are. I'm a person that spent more than 2,000 hours in GregTech, yet I'm able to speak for hours how GT5's power progression does not scale well and is entirely rigged against early game while trivializing the late game. People see me talking shit about their favorite thing and assume that I'm trying to start a war. I know that the video was quite confrontational. I mostly focused on being engaging and fun than properly supporting my argument. I've been playing Minecraft since early 2010s, seeing it go through many phases, updates, controversies even. I remember the times when Minecraft defined YouTube. To be honest, I believe that if Minecraft was not released when it was, or YouTube didn't exist as it did back then, the game would never ever have gotten the attention it did. Simply put, what made Minecraft was the content and community around it. Games extremely open in nature, and the fact that you can mod the hell out of it is what built the early community, which tend to be computer-savvy teenagers making videos. If you go back to the 1.5 to 1.7 days, at least on the Polish YouTube, the biggest content creators were all making content on modded. Everyone had their own mod pack they would play. This only changed later as Bedrock was launched into the scene and caused the community to skew more casual. Timmy could not care less about creating Bedrock content from his iPad, which inherently attracted more consumer and casual mind audience, but I digress. I come from the old school kind of player base, and I got my own vision for the game. I'm not gonna lie, I should have told Nuclear to shut it when it comes to shilling, cause people thought that this whole video was a poor cover to push Warfactory, when this was not really the intended goal. While yes, I expected the views to benefit my channel, and therefore my project, Warfactory is not trying to save Minecraft, as it is far detached from what Minecraft is.
Is the editing supposed to make me puke or have a seizure?
I'll put G in next time to help with that.
This traffic.